Solana, I think, is going to be the big story of this cycle of the main chains because they're launching Fire Dancer or Jumpies, which is a different validator, which actually, I mean, believe it or not, is going to run at 600,000 to 1.2 million TPS. So this is the fastest thing by a long way. This is just a different order of magnitude. This is 10x the fastest ever thing we've ever seen. And it's not a layer two, it's just Solana. So this is a game changer. It means the whole finance system can be built on it. It was designed by Jump Trading, who are high frequency traders who understand the latency and sheer capacity requirements for things like exchanges to run.
Raoul, the CEO of Real Vision, has offered an updated perspective on the cryptocurrency market as we make the transition from what he terms crypto spring to crypto summer. He notes that the US economy is experiencing a slowdown, but this deceleration is unlikely to lead to further significant drops in asset prices. In fact, Powell believes that the market already factored in this slowdown during the previous year. He is highly optimistic about the ongoing shift toward crypto summer, with expectations of a robust crypto and tech bull market emerging by Q1 or Q2 of 2024. Regarding the current price fluctuations, Powell draws a parallel to the changes typical of spring, where Bitcoin may surge to $28,000 and then experience minor corrections. He emphasizes the importance of zooming out to see the broader picture and acknowledges the substantial headway made by the cryptocurrency and digital asset industry this year, even in the midst of a bear market. For instance, Bitcoin has seen a 66% increase in value this year, while Ethereum's year-to-date growth stands at 37.1%. Powell also highlights Solana's performance, indicating a 15% increase over the past week. Looking forward, Powell identifies Bitcoin spot exchange-traded funds and Ethereum futures ETFs as potential catalysts for the next significant bull run. He mentions VanEck's plan to launch the VanEck Ether Strategy ETF, which invests in Ethereum futures contracts and includes a commitment to donating 10% of profits to support Ethereum core developers for 10 years. In these clips from the discussion, Powell reacts to the VanEck news, discusses institutional participation in cryptocurrencies, and shares insights on how the crypto market can reach 1 billion users in the upcoming cycle.
Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your comment and observations in the comment section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Okay, I like the team at VanEck. I know them really well. Jan VanEck is a friend of mine. Their heart is in the right place. They understand what this whole system is about. And really what they're saying is we understand that a futures ETF has less impact on the ecosystem than actual spot Ethereum ETF. So therefore, we just want to give something back to the spot market, because don't forget, if people are actually buying Ethereum and they were staking it and doing all of this stuff in spot, you've got a much more impact in the space. Because futures, yes, the arbitrageurs will try and keep the price in line. So it does create demand for actual Ethereum, but not necessarily as much demand because people can just trade the futures themselves. So I think the VanEck team are really trying to do the right thing. And listen, it's bigger than all of us. And we need to allow others to participate and help shape it. If people want their bags to go up, well, they want the institutions to build in this space too. You know, if you want Ethereum to be worth $5 trillion, well, then you're going to need the finance system to use Ethereum for settlements and smart contracts and everything else to get there. So yeah, it's a good thing. The other thing about VanEck is they even have a hedge fund that just solely invests in crypto assets.
Okay.
So they're really in this space. I mean, they're properly in this space. They've got NFTs, they do everything. So they're really trying to put their best foot forward in the space and be good stewards of the spaces.
Is that going to be one of these catalysts that move us over from spring into summer?
It depends what price is doing. Because had we launched a spot ETF in November last year, nobody would have bought it because the market was going down or it was feeling terrible. But as the market is recovering and we're in spring, and normally the Q4 is a strong quarter, if you introduce spot Bitcoin and spot ETH ETFs into a rising market, you will start to suck in the investment advisors, the individuals who found it too complicated to hold their own wallets and do all of that kind of stuff. So it really depends what the market is doing. But I think on balance, it's positive. But really, it'll show up in 2024, 2025 when the cycle's fully underway. It just makes an easy way for people who are not used to the digital side of things to just use equities and get their exposure. So yeah, look, overall longer term, it's very positive. It's just yet another on-ramp. Short term, depends what the price is doing. Price is strong, we'll get a bit of a panic in from the investment advisors and stuff like that. From the work that I've done, if I look at the rate of change of the adoption, the active addresses, it should hit 1 billion this cycle. So what is that? How do we get there? I don't know. But there's a lot of things that people don't even know about, like Ticketmaster has issued 30 million NFTs. People don't realize that. So that was 30 million people who weren't crypto people, but because their Ticketmaster wallet, where they get their tickets for games and shows, they just drop NFTs into them. So, I don't know how we're going to onboard the billion, but it feels like it's coming. It could even be, dare I say it, CBDCs. If somebody launches one, it could be from India, where they're working on their CBDC. So there's a lot of different avenues that will create the billion people.
In his conversation with Jessica, Raoul discusses the growing significance of institutional interest in the cryptocurrency space. He emphasizes that while the crypto economy already possesses groundbreaking technology, it now requires substantial capital, the kind that goes beyond what retail investors can provide, as many of them have already allocated their assets within the crypto sphere. According to Raoul, the space requires a fresh infusion of capital from major institutional players and their affluent clients. He believes that the surge in interest from prominent financial institutions is set to bring precisely this influx of capital. Additionally, institutions are likely to foster a surge in crypto venture capital investments, which will fund the next wave of projects vital for the industry's expansion. Raoul also anticipates that as the broader economy decelerates, the Federal Reserve may be compelled to reduce interest rates. This, in turn, is expected to trigger a general increase in asset prices, starting with the stock market. As stock markets approach all-time highs, Raoul foresees a heightened motivation for both institutional and retail investors to explore more risk-intensive assets, including cryptocurrencies and other digital assets. Consequently, he predicts a substantial rise in institutional participation during this cycle compared to the previous one, driven by the substantial capital that will flow into the crypto market. This capital inflow is poised to catalyze the exponential growth of specific cryptocurrencies, and Raoul is prepared to share his insights on which ones are most likely to experience substantial surges.
Layer 2s are cheaper, faster. So that works. So, Polygon, Arbitrum, all of that stuff, that probably works very well. And so I think we will see ongoing adoption of those. Only some of the value accrues to ETH because they batch transactions. So they take a whole bunch and then it goes onto the ETH chain. So you're using kind of one ETH slot for a lot of other slots. So it has an impact on ETH. It's good. More people are building on ETH. So that's great. I think that continues. Solana, I think, is going to be the big story of this cycle of the main chains because they're launching Fire Dancer or Jump-Is, which is a different validator, which actually, believe it or not, is going to run at 600,000 to 1.2 million TPS. So this is the fastest thing by a long way. Considering Solana and Polygon are the two fastest chains at 65,000 TPS, and Sui should be about 120,000, but yet to get there. This is just a different order of magnitude. This is 10x the fastest ever thing we've ever seen. And it's not a layer 2, it's just Solana. So this is a game changer. It means the whole finance system can be built on it. It was designed by Jump Trading, who are high frequency traders who understand the latency and sheer capacity requirements for things like exchanges to run. So I think Solana is a very big story. We're seeing a lot of activity there. Then I don't know what the new Solana will be, but we're seeing a lot of interest both in gaming and also in zero knowledge stuff. And there's also DeFi. So I don't know. It becomes really hard to know which is the big area. But those are the three I hear a lot. But I tend not to go that far out the risk curve just because it's difficult to choose the right thing, But, you figure that if the space is going up, then Bitcoin and ETH will do well and Solana will do well. Solana's got this extra kicker, which is, I think, potentially a game changer. So I think that's probably the layer one that does the big layer one that does the best in the cycle. Then we've got the kind of Aptos and Suis and those kind of things. Let's see how they do, what traction they get. The layer twos will be interesting, and then these other kind of applications, as I said. I think we've all learned not to give price expectations anymore, because just because people trying to take them as gospel, and as opposed to, hey, this is my best guess knowing what I know today. But generally speaking, if ETH does what Bitcoin did last cycle, then it's 3 to 4 times the high of the previous cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that kind of yardstick gives us 15,000 plus. That doesn't sound unreasonable. That's a 10x from here. That's possible. That would be within the realms of normality. And then something like Bitcoin, maybe it does slightly less because it's a more mature ecosystem, and something like Solana would do significantly more. So that's how I think about it. I think the overall space can go from $1 trillion today to maybe 10 trillion at the peak of the next cycle. So that's a 10x for the whole space, possibly. Could be a 5x, but it's something of that magnitude. If we're right in our hypothesis that more and more people will use blockchain technology for underlying use cases. If that's the case, yeah.
During the discussion about a spot Bitcoin ETF, Raoul expresses a strong belief that at least one of the applications submitted to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will receive approval this year, with the possibility of it happening as early as November. According to this respected macro expert, the regulatory body is undoubtedly prepared to give the green light to one of these applications and will do so as soon as it completes all the necessary official procedures. This raises the question of whether you share this belief in the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF this year. Furthermore, how do you envision the potential impact of such news on crypto asset prices and the overall sentiment within the industry? Your thoughts and insights on this matter are highly valued, so please don't hesitate to share your comments and observations in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.